Morning and welcome to Mindset Monday. I'm Shelley Butler.
I'm Yves Doucet. I am
Yeah,
a
you
friend
are.
of Shelley Butler.
You
So
are.
something that happens. I don't know. You're not old enough yet to know this, but when you get older, what happens is you walk into an airport, and then somebody says, "Oh, I know you." And I
Mm.
walk over, big smile on this woman's face, and she says, "I know you. You're Shelley Butler's friend."
Don't you
I
love
said,
that?
"You're right." She says, "She's so." Her name is Kim. She says, "Hi." She
Hey,
was in
Kim.
She was in Toronto, the same place as me, and yeah, you're Shelley Butler's friend. So I had so many people say, "Hey, you're this such and such." Like it's same as like Katie's friend. Like it was in Toronto. Everybody in Toronto knew Katie Gradon for some reason, and anybody in Toronto knows you, Shelley. So yeah, a bit humbling.
How exciting is that? How exciting is that for me?
It
You
should be.
know,
You're known all over the world. It
I
was
think
supposed to be Toronto.
I think that is wonderful. My husband gets that every now and again as well.
And so I have to say that like a little bit of like pride was inside of me. Yeah, when she said that. Yeah. So
Aw.
but when you're known for to be a friend of someone that you care about, something happens inside of you, like you kind of perk up. I get taller. Yeah, like that.
Well,
Hey, yeah,
well, think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it. This is
Yeah.
my nail technician.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, she is my nail technician.
It doesn't
So
matter. It's
So
just
absolutely,
that
I
you're
talk
recognized
about
amongst your friends, right?
I talk
Yeah.
about you, right? I
Oh,
do
okay.
talk about you. I
Yeah.
do talk about the pillars and practices. I do talk about, the amazing guy that I have that is always walking beside me. I could never do this
Mhm.
alone. Yeah, I often I'm so proud of you, Eve. Like
Oh,
I'm
thank you.
so proud of you.
I did a little Facebook Live yesterday
I
because because
I
of you.
cried. I
Oh,
couldn't even.
really?
Oh yeah, I couldn't even reach out to you. I was just
Oh,
like, oh my gosh,
mm.
I cried. Yeah, it was like when you wrote me the song. I
Oh,
cried.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely beautiful to acknowledge people, to make sure that we know that we love each other and that the whole world knows that. I really try to do a whole lot of that. I hired Lumar to do my electrical in my
Hmm.
house, and this gentleman, his name is Luke Garrett, and he is or Luke Garrett. I don't
Get
really
it.
know. Get it.
Get it.
Anyways,
Get it.
he is beyond professional, beyond helpful, high fives me in the wins, right? Like he is amazing. And I couldn't wait to tell Mario LeBlanc actually owns there's a couple owners for Lumar, but Mario and I'm friends with
Yeah,
Mario
no.
online. You know Mario.
Mhm.
And so I couldn't help but let him know because the one thing that you and I love the most is when one of our employees gets kudos from a
Yeah.
client, right? I love that. So I always make sure. I always make sure that the guy that's paying the bills to, writing the checks, understands that this guy is above and beyond.
Cool.
And
Good job.
this weekend, or this last week, you have gone above and beyond for the province of New Brunswick with Skills NB. I need to hear about it. Talk to me.
Well, I have to say that it was on the edge for me.
Okay.
It's something I've never done before. I'd never done before. So I was part of the Skill NB, Skill Canada NB team. So let me just explain to you what that is. So, in order to promote trades, like all trades, include everything that's taught at the community college. So everything from carpentry that you would see as a trade, electrician we just talked about, but welding, what else? Mechanics. Robotics, refrigeration, but also things like cooking, baking, sewing, public speaking. Yeah,
Wow.
everything that's taught at the community college, right? And
Hmm.
it was one of my friends, Courtney Donovan, like took this job on a few years back, and she's an amazing coach. She was in athletics all of her life. She's been a big basketball fan, coach, supporter. She was part of I forget the Pistons. Is that our team in Moncton?
I don't know.
Anyways, there's a basketball team. And I remember she was coming to class and she would bring all these tall fellas, young fellows to my yoga class, right?
Yep.
And so we met and we kind of collaborated on a few projects from, 10, 15 years ago. And then she asked me, so she organizes these competitions. So Skill Canada, in order to promote skills trades, um, came up with this organization that every province picks their top tradesmen, so one or two people, secondary by their secondary school and community college, right? So you can be an electrician, in high school if you want to,
Amazing.
because you
Amazing.
can learn certain trades in high school too, right? So, and it's not even like trade. The thing about trade is you don't have to take a course. As long as you're doing it, you can come compete. Because in trades, as you know, it's you can be an apprentice, right? And learn. You can go to school and learn, but you can also be an apprentice. And if you go to school, you have to be an apprentice. Anyway, all
Yep.
that to say that they're doing this uh, every year. So the province picks their best tradesmen, and then they compete in a national, and the national winners go to compete for Canada in an international competition. So the international competition, the Canadian team is going to Shanghai this year in September, right? Yeah.
Amazing.
Wouldn't it be great if I get picked for a mindset coach?
Right?
Shanghai. Hey,
Shanghai.
just
Here you come.
dreaming my life. So anyway, so she contacted me last year and she says, "Hey, do you want to be a mindset coach for this team?" I said, "Sure." I didn't know what it was, uh, like what she wanted me to do, but she says all these kids get there, 50 of these kids to represent the New Brunswick, and they get there, they get really nervous and stuff like that. And I said, "Okay, I'll do it." And so came down to Toronto, and there were 50 kids, 50 of these kids competing. And I have to say, the first day, these are young kids. Some are as young as 13.
Oh,
I know,
awesome.
right? There's
Yeah.
a young electrician, 13, and there's also people as old as 26, right? So people who have been out of school, came back to school, learned a trade like landscaping, for example.
Mm.
Anyway, so the first day was pretty kind of slow, and I'm thinking, what am I doing here? Right. So I did a couple of meditations, a couple of things. I did a little video, did some songs for them, affirmation songs, right? Anyway, I did a few things, and okay, I said, well, I think my job is done, right? And that was day one, just walking around thinking, okay, Eve, double down and focus on this job. Like Courtney's asked you to be here, double down and be here. So I'm just walking, and by noon the first day, she texts me, she says, this young man needs your help. So I go like, who is this guy? What is he like? There's 50 kids. Like, bear with me. I don't know these people. I just got to know them when I arrived. And I said, okay, I go find him. And he's distraught. Like he is saying, I'm out of my comfort zone here. I don't do this for a living. I've never done this. I just want to go home.
Yeah.
So and then he says to me, he says, I'm just going to go around and look at other competitors. I said, absolutely not. You're going to go outside. We're going to go take a walk. You're going to be with nature. We're going to breathe. I'm going to teach you to breathe, right? We're going to have a talk. We're just going to breathe and just calm down. And after lunch, he did better, right? And then we got back to the hotel, and that's when, like, I saw that these kids, Courtney was right. Like these kids put, how can I say this? They put so much pressure on themselves, and
Yep.
maybe society does, the parents does, and we do, right, to win. And I said, like, listen, I've started 20 companies, if not more, in my life, and I've never lost. I have never lost once. I don't always win. Actually, I've only won a few times, but I've never lost. And they look at me and say, what are you talking about? No, I keep moving. As long as I'm moving, I'm not losing,
Yep.
right? So it's not about winning or losing. It's about moving. So if you
Yeah.
get stuck somewhere, just hold your breath, be grateful for your breath, and then pick some way to move.
Hmm.
That's what I told her.
Hmm.
And anyways, we had a nice chat. That I was exhausted. I was just like, okay, this is like a lot of coaching in a lot of days. But the smile on these I'm getting emotional here. The smile on these kids, amazing, right? Um, Not one quit. Not one person quit. And some of them, like they wanted to go home. You know that feeling that we had, that I had anyway. I think you had the same feeling at
Oh
there.
yeah,
You
Barrett.
want to go
Like
home?
I'm out of here. Yeah.
You're like losing your shit. You're
Oh
crying. You're
yeah.
emotional, right?
Totally.
And that's what was happening. These people there.
Yeah.
And I told my son, I've been on team with Baron, and I thought, okay, my job here is to keep it together, to make sure that they keep moving, whatever that movement looks like. That's my job,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
To get their focus out of winning and into moving, into discovering something. And every single one of them was proud. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
and
And
that's it. That's the game itself. That's the game of life, right? Because as soon as we give up, as soon as we become depressed, as
mm,
soon as we throw in the towel, as soon as we know we're not good enough, life becomes so hard.
and then we get like we give meaning and significance to that, like,
We
people are
do.
watching me and the other person's doing better, and like they're right there next to you, right?
Of
And then
course.
this is a time crunch, like these guys and these projects. I put some of them on my stories there. These projects
Saw
are
amazing.
amazing,
Amazing.
right? That they're what they're doing with, whatever the things that they're
Food,
doing.
just the food, Eve. Oh
Food,
my
right? Oh yeah,
gosh.
yeah,
When you think about these youngsters and they're able to absolutely deliver. But
yes.
what was so impressive to me is that people are organizing places for our children to go, our youngsters to go and fail. And and not be as good as the next guy. See, the thing is those are the lessons of life. For some reason, years ago, we decided to give everybody a trophy because we were really worried about little Johnny not getting the trophy, kind of thing. And that's what builds resilience. Resilience is about, I didn't do great, but man, oh man, next time I'm going to nail it, right?
Well,
And
yeah, go ahead.
and so I was so pleased and so honored that you were there because I knew that nobody would quit if you were there.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
knew that nobody would go home feeling less than, right? But it's just about the movement. Okay, that didn't work this time, but can I do more next time? Can I do it differently next time? See, the thing is failure, you and I both know is unintended results. That's it. We expected
Absolutely.
this and it didn't happen.
It didn't
So,
turn out the way we wanted. Yeah, and we create all this suffering because
oh,
we thought that winning was the only way out. It's not.
it's no, it's not. As a matter of fact, you and I have been around a lot of winners,
Oh yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
unhappy, what they would consider winners. You
absolutely.
know what I mean? A lot of so I think the best thing is for people to, and you mentioned it earlier, is to create a movement, is to always create a movement, making sure that we can still do something. We don't want anybody to go home broken. We don't want
Yeah.
anybody to think that because they didn't conquer that at 13 or 15 or 18 that now their life is over. It's truly about building that resiliency in in these children because life isn't easy.
So this is a thing that I didn't get there with all of them.
Mm.
But if you only look at the trophy being the medal, you're missing the real trophy. And I'll give you an
Yeah.
example. There's this
That's
young
why
girl.
that's why there's only a few billionaires, right, that run the world. It's exactly why. Anyways,
Yeah,
this young girl, sorry.
yeah. So this young girl called Alicia, and then she was competing in landscaping, and they were dead last, right? And but these guys were working like sweating, and they were like, they cried and they laughed and they had to redo it and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then when she comes to me, she says, "I won the most enthusiastic person." I said, "Well, that's a real win."
Yeah.
She says, "What do you mean?" I said, "When you're out in the real world and you just shared that you're dealing with customers, and the customers want people that are happy. They want
Yeah.
people that take on their responsibility to redo it when it's not done right. And that's what you did."
Yeah.
So in the real world, right, the medal is actually interesting, but the relationship you have with others, the way you treated the judges, the way you accepted the criticism, the way you actually rebuild it and say, no, this, I want to make this good, right? The best I can. That has value in the real world. And so there were so many beautiful moments like that. There was this other young man, Jason, and he was totally out of his skill set. He says, I don't even know how to start this. I don't, like, I didn't learn this. And so that's the one I had with it. Keep moving, just do one thing. And if you get stuck, take a deep breath, hold it in, and be grateful that you're here and you're going to learn something. And you should have seen this guy work. Like, it was amazing how far he got. And then the other person was one of the chefs, actually. And she told me, I said, like, I'm really stressed out. I said, why are you stressed out? She says, my mom's here and she's going to be recording me. It wasn't the judges, it was her mom. Not that her mom's a bad mom. I'm not
No,
saying
no,
that.
no,
But what
no.
I'm saying is when we show up, and this is the video I did about you yesterday, right? I have never felt the need to perform when you're there.
Mm.
And it's because you accept me as I am. You don't accept me, oh, I'll love him if he wins, or I'll love him more if he wins, or you're anticipating that I'm going to win something. You just show up with this energy of so happy to be there. And so I had to coach some of the moms, some of the dads, some of the coaches that were there because we put this pressure on the kids. And like you say, like, it's not that they should all get a trophy, but they all should all find themselves, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like when she got kudos for being enthusiastic. I mean, that is your energy.
It's
That
your
is part of your energy. Like nobody will ever take that from you. You'll
no,
have that you'll have that unless somebody gets in there and tries to break that, right? You'll have that forever. You'll always be known as, man, she's so enthusiastic, right? She's always
yes.
the life of the party. And that is a beautiful trait.
This is finding, like, these competition. Yes, they're about winning and choosing who's the best skilled at it. That's one way to measure it. But another way to measure it, did you miss your mom?
I did. Could you tell?
It blended into the blue.
The background.
So yeah, it's about finding who you are. And this young girl, like, she's 16, right? And she's
Right?
cutting hair and she's saying, I'm so depressed. I said, why? I just want to go home. I said, why do you want to go home? Wow. She says, here I am, and I'm looking at people looking at me, staring me down, and I just want to go home. And then I looked at the competitors and I saw that this girl was doing something better than me. So I start to copy her and I cut a big hole in the back of the head of the hairdresser, right? And then she says to me, she says, that's not who I am. I'm not that person. Why am I copying somebody else? And I said, oh my God, like, this is so beautiful. You found yourself, your style, your way of being. And that's the real gold. That's the real goal for me. And she finished the competition too. So there's this other. I have so many stories. There was this young person, 16 again. She was crying, having a bad time. And I asked her. I said, "What made you pick this skill?" And she says, "Well, the alternative was to become an accountant." Nothing against accountant, right? And
Ah.
then I said, "Oh, can you imagine what accountants are doing now?" Yeah, but she says this girl keeps staring me down. Oh, I said she's probably an accountant. She starts laughing, and I'm not thinking an accountant's nothing wrong with that. But I just seized the moment to say, well, you could be an accountant right now. Would you rather be an accountant or rather be doing what you're doing? I'd rather be here. I say, okay, you could be an accountant miserable like that woman over there, or you can be who you are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it made her smile, right? So it's about getting, like, out of our heads, out of our comparisons, out of the meaning and significance, right? That we
Mm.
give to all the things we do and just being in your flow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like somebody looking at you. And do you not find that with these youngsters today, like because they're so used to being behind these screens, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Nobody's really looking at them.
Yeah. You're
And
right.
when they get out in public and they're doing something like that, the fear, the fear of somebody staring at them or somebody looking at them or yeah, so we're going to have a different breed coming up here.
Yes, for
And we
sure.
have and we absolutely have to be aware that it's going to be a new way of being. Like you said, it's going to be something different. They're not going to have the same skill set that baby boomers and Gen X has.
No.
They're absolutely not. And we're having to go back to the basics. We're having to go
Yeah.
back to the basics
Yeah.
and literally helping these youngsters how to make even eye contact,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? It is so difficult for them to actually express themselves well, right? They're just angry, they're just sad, they do not have the ability, the communication style to express themselves. I believe my belief is that mothers are out of the house, mothers are working, and I think that like listen to me. I work. I want women to work. It's not that, but I think we gave up something along the way, and we haven't looked, you know, we haven't got up close and personal to this, and we haven't. I don't think we've admitted that women feminism, has created this place where our men don't really know where they're at. And even our
Yeah.
young girls, right? They're expected to have a different skill set. They're expected to have a different ability now than they did back in the day.
Yeah,
See,
it's kind of interesting that you say that because technology, like, the washing machine or the power tools that we have, the cars, has made us more free. Same as the phone. Like we can have
has
this
it?
conversation. No,
Has
but
it
it's
though?
it's it's supposed to be able to create more time, but
It hasn't.
we fill that time with more things to do, right? So technology has given us the ability to have more time, but we fill that time with more to dos instead of filling that time with more presence, right?
We're not
So
resting though. We're always on. We're never resting ever.
so I don't think, and I agree with you, and I disagree with you. I think it's part of evolution. The women's freedom and the men like kind of get lost, like cloudiness, and you know this
I'm gonna get canceled
cloudiness.
now.
Well, cloudiness, like when you get cloudy, you get unsure of yourself. You get, I don't know what to do anymore. Look at the men's loneliness epidemic, they call it, right? Or the men don't know how to show up anymore. It's part of evolution. And the freedom for women, the same thing. It's part of evolution. Like like I went to see Eckhart Tolle last night. So
Oh, I see that. Yes, I love Eckhart.
and Eckhart Tolle, and I loved him too. There's 2 hours of like bliss. It was really good.
Awesome.
And don't go there if you get bored at the mass though, because this is like 2 levels below mass. it's
Oh yeah.
it's
Have you
slow. Yeah.
the guy is so monotone, but
Oh my god.
if you can actually sit through it, it's
Yeah.
he has so much perspective. He has so much
So
of
he says to me, you know how your phone has 1 gigahertz of
yep,
gigabytes of memory, and your
yep.
computer has, a terabyte or something like that, right? So we have lots of memory. We figured out, like human beings have figured out how to create memory, like store pictures, store our files, all that stuff. And but yet we have no idea how the brain creates memory.
Mm.
We you can dissect a brain. We know
Hmm.
where it is. We know that if this part of the brain doesn't work, there's no more memory.
Yeah.
We just don't know how and where the memory is stored.
And why the memory is stored. Why that memory as
Right.
opposed to that memory. Yeah, we have no idea.
So if you think about that for a second, we have not yet even like discovered how memory works in the brain.
Yeah.
That's like, so with all of the things that we know nothing. Right?
Yeah.
We know very little about how this works yet. Where is the I in the consciousness? Where is this I in
Yeah.
me? Where is this
Yeah.
self, right?
Yeah.
And so this is why I'm saying this is part of evolution, because as we push ourselves to become exhausted, right, through doing, There's awakening. There was 3,000 people that yesterday awakening, right? You know, some of the kids were like last week says, "Oh, I tried your breathing. It really worked." So your breathing did really work. And I tried movement, that really worked. Right. And I
Yeah.
tried laughing, that really worked. Right. So they were saying these things that, you know, that stuff, I didn't believe in it, but that worked. It worked for me. Perfect. Right. So we have this ability to evolve to the next level.
Yep.
So I don't think it's a bad thing that we have a generation where men and women are asking themselves, what is this about? Right? What am I doing here? You know, why am I so stuck in my ways? I think that's where we need to be. And
You know,
these kids, like I met one of your friends. I met so many people in my life. Somebody asked me during this week, what is the difference between these kids and the 50-year-old? I said, absolutely nothing. It's a transition of life. And these kids are being exposed to the same dilemma, the same problems as the 50-year-olds, right?
yep. Yep.
What am I going to do with my life? Why is this happening to me? Why is everybody better than me? Why can't I find my passion? Why can't I be happy? All these questions. These kids are having the same conversation. And they're 16 and 17 and 18, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
some of them are 50. They're young as 60, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's beautiful. I really do. I think it's like beautiful to ask these questions. And then because it gets your prefrontal cortex really out of your body and your thinking and your mind. And yeah, I was, yeah, I'm so excited to I was
I'm
so excited.
so
Oh
proud of you.
yeah.
I'm so proud of you to be there with those kids. They could learn so much from you. You have changed my entire life.
Oh, love you.
And oh, I love you too. And you know, anybody that gets in your presence and has the ability to see you is able to stop their doing and has the ability to see you, that they can understand that just the breath can take you to the next step, the
Yeah.
next thing that you need to do. Just the breath. You know, it doesn't need to be hard. It doesn't need to
It's
be
not
hard.
complicated. No.
It's really it's not complicated. So I hope you're right. I hope people are asking themselves those questions. My concern is that we're not asking the right questions to ourselves. We are really hoping that life just happens to us, right? That we're not making the best of us. Life just will happen. I hear so many kids saying, "Well, it was so easy when you guys did it. It's hard for us. We can't buy a house. We can't do this. We can't do that." And as soon as you start to tell yourself that you can't do this, you can't do that, I guarantee you'll be on your parents' couch for the rest of your life.
That's
You,
but that's the beginning. The beginning is like to be in suffering.
mm,
Like we're not meant to be happy all the time. We're meant to suffer. And through the suffering, we'll uncover something. Now, some people won't get out of their suffering. They'll live there for the rest of their lives. But that's part of evolution, right? And if they get one person like you, one person, if that person in suffering gets one person like you next to them, they can do anything. That's what happened to me. You need one
thank you.
person, right?
You do.
Yeah, you one person next to you to be by your side, not coaching you, not
Yep.
necessarily telling you what to do, not judging you, not helping you. Just one person that believes in you. One person that says, "Yeah, you got this." Right?
Yeah.
Just being there without saying something, just being there and trusting that life is going to work out great, fine, and being so proud of that person. That's what you did to me. So you know, my message like last yesterday was, you know, find someone in your life that you can be there for them. And
Absolutely.
without judgment, like a cheerleader, being so many people don't have like my homeless friend Bruce, right? He called me the other day and says, "You know what, Eve?" I said, "What?" He said, "I have to celebrate something with you. I can only do this with you." I said, "What?" He says, "In June, this is today, there, right? In June, I think it's June 13. He told me the date, I forgot. He said, it'll be 2 years since I've been on parole, and the parole will be over. right? He says, I have been out of trouble for the last 2 years. That was his gold medal. That was his gold medal.
Yeah, because
And
he had
all I
somebody believed in him. He
and
had somebody that believed in him.
all I do, like all I do with him, of course I give him money once in a while, a few
Yeah,
dollars here and
yeah,
there. But I answer the phone.
yeah.
I answer the phone. That's all I basically what I do is I answer the phone. And I have to admit, I get on my heels with this guy. Like he puts me on my heels,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so can you find someone in your life and stand by them and be their biggest cheerleader,
No matter what.
no matter what?
No matter what.
And it doesn't always shows up. It doesn't always show up as a medal contender. It doesn't always show up like that's what my lesson is. It could be somebody who's like about to go to jail and you show up to court for him and you don't want to do it because you're afraid that people will judge you. It could be that, right?
Could be.
Be a front row seat cheerleader. If I could tell you one thing today is to be a front row seat cheerleader for someone has impact. An
Huge.
impact is will change you. Like once you have this, like once you understand this energy, it'll change you for the rest of your life. That's what I think, and it'll
Yep.
change the other person too. Yeah,
Absolutely. The trajectory of you having that ability to live your life authentically because you have that person that believes in you so much that no matter what happens, and we've talked about that before, like if Eve called me and said, "Hey, meet me on Melanson," I would
I
grab
have a
the
dead body in
shovel.
my book.
Right? I would grab the shovel and a disguise and off I would go, right? No questions asked because I do believe. I absolutely believe in you. And we have been in some tough situations,
We have,
in
yeah,
business and yeah, we have gotten ourselves in some situations and he's come to rescue me and I've come to rescue him. No questions asked. And the thing is I remember one time you were like, "You're judging me." And I said, "Yes, I am. Yes, I
I
am."
remember that.
Right? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah,
Because I promised you I would always tell you the truth.
yeah,
I promised you I would always tell you the truth. And it took me a minute. I got over it.
yeah,
I stopped judging. But I always can count on you to tell me the truth too.
yes, yeah.
Right? Shell, you gotta settle it down kind of thing here. So and I never add meaning and significance to it. I just know that you love me
Oh yeah,
no matter what, no matter what. I remember walking with my sister, and my sister has some mental illness, and I remember walking with her, and I had to say something because it was the truth, and I did, and she took it harshly, and I told her at that day, we can continue to walk together, we can continue to be sisters and super close, but I guarantee you, I'm going to always tell you the truth.
yeah.
Always going to tell you the truth. And even if it's sometimes a little harsh, please know that I always love you. I always love you in that. So the other day, something came up and she looked at me and she said, "But I know you love me." I said, "Absolutely,
Ooh,
absolutely." And that's huge.
it
That's
is.
absolutely huge because when you're always behind the eight ball and you think that people are looking and staring and pointing and questioning your ability to be human, it's frightening. But when you know you have somebody that's always going to be kind and they're always going to be there for you, and that's what we have, uh, yeah, you got to go find that. You got to work. I think you need to work on that. You need to
You do.
work on finding that. Um,
And it's as simple as, and I was telling this to one of the moms over there. I said, your daughter is not asking you to do a video. She's asking you to give her a hug.
yeah, yeah,
So,
we forget.
sometimes it's as simple as putting down the phone and giving a person a hug. And it could be a virtual hug. Some people don't like to touch. So it could be a virtual hug. What does a virtual hug look like? Well, it looks like and feels like the same way. You're there. You're present.
Yeah,
You feel them. You feel everything, right?
yeah,
So it's as simple as that. Just put down your phone. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You understand?
We don't always need to video so we can show it off, right? But you know, I watched that for years. My daughter used to play ringette, and I would see moms and dads, you know,
My God.
disciplining the kid for not, you know, getting the shot off, or you know, playing maybe too small kind of thing to, you know. I always used to question. I'd be like, wow, I hope you did really good in your last ringette game. Like, you know, these guys aren't playing ringette, but yet they're running up, and it just is absolutely insane. The pressure that we can put on our children without even knowing it. Even when you look at them and their
Oh yeah.
tears in their eyes, it's absolutely insane to me. But what I've noticed a lot lately, my daughter's a school teacher, and what I've noticed in our conversations is her saying things like, um, the parent is very upset that the you know kid's not doing really well with um you know this particular reading, or you know, and Nicola will often say, you know, just support them. They're not going to read as you do or what your expectations are, but if you support them in reading as opposed to criticize them, you know, because I'm the teacher, that's what I'm supposed to do. Please just love on them, you know. And she's done so well with
Yeah,
parents
he
this year
has.
because she's been able to just tell them the truth. This is your place to love on them.
Mhm.
I'll be the critic, I'm going to be the teacher, I'm going to do the marking. You know, and if if they know that they have support at home, they'll be able to make the mistakes. See, the thing is we don't learn without making the mistakes.
You have
if
to like, oh my God, yeah.
if everything has to be perfect, right? And what does
Yeah.
it show us? Back in the day, you know, for us women, it used to be the 17 magazine, the magazines,
What
right?
do you mean?
Well, we saw beautiful women, women
Oh,
wearing, you know,
mm,
like that was us. So we were trying to you know, and of course you'd only get a magazine. Like you couldn't afford a magazine very often. So you'd only get a magazine a couple times a year, right? But that's kind of what we would look at, the commercials and whatnot. These kids are 24/7 with their little phones in their hand, and they're looking at everybody that's better.
yeah,
Everybody's better than them. And it is a dilemma. It's an absolute dilemma. And you see a lot of influencers saying, you know, this is filtered, this isn't real, this is to try to, you know, convey that this isn't human. Don't try to be that. But bottom line, they're still going to try to be somebody that they're not. And that's what we're promoting. That's what
yeah.
we're promoting. We want you to be somebody you're not.
So I guess, bringing this back to why is this important for Dovico? And because we hire, like when we hire our team, we're looking for people that are real with themselves, right? That can be honest with themselves, that can have honest conversations. That's why we developed this software called ShowUp, right? That's why we measure time, not because we want people to be always the fastest way, but it's an indication that you're getting better at what you're doing. And to be real with yourself, to find your authentic self. And the important thing in life to me, and I think Dovico too, is always be moving, because movement creates life.
Yep.
Movement creates opportunity.
Yep.
Movement creates an ability for you to learn. And it's the movement. So time is important, but the movement that you're doing in that time is the most important.
Most.
And the
Yep.
honesty of, like, having difficult conversations, like you were saying, being honest with yourself. Like, am I in reaction? Am I attached to an outcome? Am I trying to feed the ego here, right? Like by comparing myself to other people.
Yeah.
When you start asking those questions, you stop moving. And when you stop moving, you stop growing. So at Dovico, we're all about moving. We're all about like creating a space where people can move, because we understand that innovation happens in the movement.
That's right.
Innovation happens in the delivery. It doesn't happen in standing still. And biology is like that too. When there's movement, there's life. In movement, there's life. Yeah. So as long as you're moving and you're cheering on the person who's moving, and you can be a cheer for the person who's moving, and different people are at different stages in their lives. Some kids are still watching themselves through the filters of the phone, right, and faking it. And some people, are asking deep, deep questions about themselves, and we're different age, different places, different things. But at the end of the day, we're all going to have ourselves. We're all going to have to ask ourselves some deep questions, no matter what time. Eventually, we're going to ask ourselves. We're going to have to ask ourselves these questions. It may be on a deathbed, though, and hopefully it won't.
Hopefully it won't. You come into this world with nothing, nothing.
Yeah.
You're naked. You have nothing. And let me tell you, when you go out, you have nothing.
You'll have nothing.
So
I have nothing.
the things that are surrounding you, the things that you're attached to, you can't take them with you.
You can't.
You
No,
have
absolutely
to
not.
be able, you have to be able to let it go, to let them go. I'm moving and I'm decluttering my house, and
That's
I
movement,
have
right?
I have never felt so free and able to make the decision, nope, I'm not going to take that. Nope.
Yeah,
It is I've never been here before. I've never felt that freedom of, because I'm poor, right? So well, I considered myself poor growing up. So everything I had, I could buy it once. So
right.
I held on to that. I mean, I'm going to tell you truth. This is the God's honest truth. I bought 41 years ago a tent. I
Yeah.
still have that same tent. It
How many
was
times did you sleep in that?
it was a killer tent. Oh, 1,000. Like
Okay.
we tent, like, yeah, that was
Yeah.
our thing, right? We tented all the time. Now, back in the day when I was 18, it's probably every money I had. I probably didn't eat meat for a month because I bought that tent, but I had it for 41 years, right? Can I let that tent go today? Oh yeah. Yeah, I can let that tent go today. Interesting enough, I couldn't last year.
See, this is the thing that we don't, in the practice of non-attachment. The less attached you are to where that come, winning the gold medal, succeeding, or to
Yeah,
protect, the more energy you'll have to move.
it's
So
it's
as you
beautiful.
like, doesn't matter what you're doing. Let's say you're building a deck. The more you can let go of all the things that you want and focus on one thing, you'll have more energy to move. The more you
Yep.
can let go of the old deck. If you're building a software, the more features you can let go because you want to build this new way.
Yeah.
Like the more energy you'll have to move. You have to let go of the tense of the world
You
in your
have
life.
to.
In
You have to let that stuff go, and you can't be reminiscing about stuff. I want you to be reminiscing about the memories that you had, about the fun things that you did in the tent. Very cool. But you got to let the stuff go.
well,
We have
it's
so much stuff.
like how many of us go back and say, "Oh, I should have done this. I should have said this yesterday." So here I am reflecting on my week and say, "Oh, I could have done this better. Oh, maybe I said that and she's upset at me, or maybe I did that, he's upset at me." And I struggled for the last 2 days to get out of my attachment of me. Yeah.
That's the
So
work.
the tent is the metaphor for actually letting go of the thoughts that you
Yeah.
have, right? And Eckhart told you something. Told us those stories that we get attached to a possible new future, and I use and a past, right? And he said he went to an Irish pub in Ireland, and he said there was a little sign, and it said "free beer tomorrow," right? So the patrons would come in and says, "I'm here to buy free beer," and
That's tomorrow.
bartender would say, "That's tomorrow," right?
So good.
Right. So,
So good.
right.
So
There
good.
is no
Oh,
tomorrow. There's no tomorrow,
there
and
is no
there's no
tomorrow.
yesterday. Think
Yeah.
about that. If there was a free beer yesterday, you say, "Shoot, I missed
I
it."
so gagged. Yeah.
Right? There is no yesterday. It doesn't exist.
It's
That's the funny part. There
it's
was a free
perfect.
burn, right? You penalize yourself for not being here yesterday, so you're going to get tomorrow. But there's no tomorrow because tomorrow doesn't exist. The only
The
thing that
metaphor
exists,
of life. The
right?
metaphor of life. What a
Yeah,
beautiful analogy. I love it.
free
Oh.
beer tomorrow.
And how many of us do that? We're waiting to be happy until we have the thing. It's funny.
Tomorrow.
I didn't realize until just now. I just had an aha moment, Eve. So people keep coming up to me and say, "Oh, you must be so excited about your new build, about the new house."
Yeah,
And I keep thinking, I say, yeah, yeah, but I keep thinking, why am I not excited?
because you're excited today.
That's it. I'm not waiting,
Yeah.
and people keep saying, when are you moving in? I don't know. Like, I have no attachment to the date. I already have a home. I have a beautiful home. I don't, I have a home. Am I going to be feeling any differently because this is a newer home? I'm not. I don't
Yeah.
think I am. I'm excited about not owning two homes, but I have, and I really question myself, but now I see what it is. Now I see what it is. See, I'm at peace. I'm at content now. I've worked hard at being at peace and content now and not waiting for tomorrow.
So what if you had this feeling of like going into a competitions? How would you be happier with the gold medal? No, I'm already happy.
Yeah. I
Would you
I'm
be more excited if you won the gold? No, I'm already excited.
I
See what
don't
happened?
think I would. I don't think I would. So a lot of people, like, of course, people are coming through my house, and my cupboards are like circa 1972, right? I got the
Yeah,
original
yeah.
mahogany cupboards kind of thing. And we've had people like walk in and just walk out. Oof, what would I do with that kitchen? Right? And of course, I am like, what do you like? My kitchen is fantastic. What do you mean? Now, when I walk into my new kitchen, yeah, it's white. But Eve, I am as content in my house. I don't need anything else.
Yeah, you should throw in the tent.
I should throw in the tent.
It's
I'm gonna
just
find there's gonna be some hippie freak come through my house and go, oh, original 1970s cabinets,
so
mahogany.
it's kind of but that's the metaphor of life. Like we are thinking if when I get this, I'll be happy. Why wait? There's no beer tomorrow. Don't wait. Don't wait for the beer tomorrow. Be happy today.
Stop it. Stop waiting for the
Yeah.
free beer tomorrow. Be happy today. And that's it. Could I be any more happy?
Yeah.
Can I be? I don't think I could. I don't think I could. I am I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. Either way, I'm absolutely thrilled. If I were to stay in my old mahogany cupboards or my new my new ones, I don't know. I don't look at stuff like that.
Well, that's why people know you all over the world.
Ah! It's so hilarious that you go to Toronto though, and somebody would
I
say
know
that.
Shelley Butler. Who's that? Who's that with Shelley Butler? It's like they joke for the Pope there. Who's that with the Pope? No, who's the guy next to Eve? Oh, next to Shelley. Who's the guy next to Shelley? Oh, that's the Pope.
Yes, yes. I would
Uh,
probably burn. I'd probably burn next to the Pope,
that
unfortunately.
was the joke.
All
Okay.
right, my love. We've been apart for too long
I know. I'm
because
back. I'm back in Moncton on Wednesday. So
Wednesday now.
Wednesday.
Okay.
So I'll see you when. Yeah, we're traveling tomorrow, and I'll be there for a team meeting.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And you're going to teach yoga on at the Y, or are you going to be
Yes, I'll be teaching at the Y Wednesday morning, and I'm teaching at Movi Wednesday night. Yeah. So
Ooh, look at you.
so sculpt. Yeah. So I'm doing the next phase there. I'll tell you all about that.
Is
So
Moby Sculpt on Wednesday night?
it's sculpt. I'm teaching a sculpt class on Wednesday night. Yeah.
I love sculpt class. Kathy Manuel does a sculpt with us on
Okay.
Wednesdays. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, I might actually come and do that. All right.
Perfect.
I love you.
Love you.
I love you. Okay, so I'm Shelley Butler,
I'm Yves Doucet.
and this has been Mindset Monday. Love you. Get your workout in. And how are